Hey everyone, this is Black Knight 657. Now it's been a long time since I made a post or a video kind of like this, to where I'm just talking about things in my mind or what's been going on or anything else and so forth. But for this one right here, I've actually kind of been wanting to make this one for months, like what 3 or 4 months and everything, but haven't really got a chance to because due to either being busy or just doing something else. But now I actually have the time to actually talk about it. And for this topic right here that I want to discuss, and I guess it's kind of like in the making almost too, because of what's been kind of going on with certain things in like the game community, more so of like the Gacha community. But basically for this one, I just wanted to talk about how about this, a phrase that's been told many times before, back then. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's still now too, but the phrase is, "It's just a game." And that's going to be the topic that I want to talk about, is that, well, it really is just a game. Anyways, all right, so let's get to it. Now, here's the thing though. Even though I'm saying that, right, and this comes from someone who actually been playing games for, I want to say, almost 30 years now. Well, 29 to be exact, because I actually started playing games since I was 3 years old, honestly. First console I had, if I recall right, I think it was Super Nintendo, and I totally forgot. It was like that. Like here for sure, it was Super Nintendo, and for sure I remember playing one game on it. I think it was like Primeval or something like that. Basically, it's like a fighting game with like the dinosaurs or like the prehistoric like creatures, So if you know that game, then yeah, hey, there you go. But I think it's called that. If not, it's called something else. But I forgot the name of it exactly, so apologize for that. But anyways, but yeah, so 3 years old playing that game on the Super NES, and since then I've been playing games up till now. All these years later. But back then, when I was a kid, teenager, or even like early college years and there and so forth, my infatuation with games was like a lot. Basically it's like almost live and breathe gaming. you know So grew up with like the old consoles back then, and then went from Super NES to N64, then went to like GameCube. I was pretty much like a Nintendo guy at first, because my parents, they gave me like the PS1, and the PS2. However, I eventually did get the PS2 back in 2006, and it was like my graduation present that came along with Kingdom Hearts 2. So that's pretty cool. So I finally got a PS2 right there, and then so soon after that, the PS3 came out, so I got that. And of course, I got the Wii. Then I also started getting the Xbox, because I didn't get the original Xbox at first. Instead, I had the Xbox 360. And yes, I had the original one that had the red ring of death. Here's the thing though. Here, funny story right here, real quick though. The older model that I had, it actually was good. However, it wasn't until recently when I, plugged it back in to see if it would still work. I was like, okay, cool, yeah, it's still working. Guess what? It got the red ring. I was like, no! Crap. Now I think about it, I think I still have it somewhere in this house. I don't know, boy. Dang, man. I was like, no, not the red ring of death. It was too young. Nah, that's pretty old. But anyways, so yeah, so I had all that, and then afterwards, the next consoles, I had the PS4, and of course the Wii U, and in that era, sorry, the Switch. Now I did get the. Now I think about it. Actually, no, I didn't. The only Xbox consoles that I had was the original 360, but then we also got the 360 Elite. So like the black one. If I recall right, I think it was like the 360, and then with 360 Elite, which is the black version of it. But then they also had like the, I'm not sure if it's called Elite Slim, but it's kind of like the next one up. So we also had that one too. Now I think that's kind of crazy. We pretty much had 3 different versions of the 360, and I think I still have them too. Now I think about it, but I don't know. But anyways, so we had all that, and and then the next era, I have a PS5, and I still have the Switch, and of course the Switch 2 is coming up, and Rumors say that, maybe May, June. That's what I heard. I don't know. Anyways, though. So, yeah, And I did not get the next Xbox console because Xbox One, if I recall right. And the reason why I didn't get it is because when they launch it, they require you to have or to be on Wi-Fi the whole entire time, and that everything was like media based. If y'all recall that, yeah, that was stupid. And I mean, for some people, it's like, okay, that's pretty cool though. But if I recall right, I think majority of people thought that was dumb, And for me, I actually had good reasons because back then I lived out in the country area, so I had like crappy Wi-Fi. So because of that, the Xbox One was like basically useless to me because like, yeah, I could hook it up online, but if it requires me to be online the whole entire time and I need high speed internet for that, then what's the point of it, So it's like that. But anyways, and to this day, I still don't own like a Xbox One or any kind of Xbox like updated console as of right now. But right now, I'm playing on my PS5. I'm still playing on the Switch, and I'm playing on PC mobile due to like the Gacha games I play and everything. But yeah, so it's that. But anyways, so with all those consoles. Oh, and also not on that too though, but I even had the handhelds. I had the original Game Boy, I had the Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Advance SP, and I was gonna get the I think it's called like a Game Boy SP Go or something like that, but I was gonna get that. And yeah, I even had the PSP, the original one, and then I had the updated version, which was kind of like a lighter version of it, if I recall right. And then I even got the PS Vita too, And no, wait, well, yeah, there's a PS Vita, and there's a PS Vita 2. So when I say 2, I don't mean number 2. I mean 2 as in TOO. Anyways, so yeah, and oh yeah, and of course I had the DS. I had a DS Lite, the 3DS, the 3DS XL. So yeah, like I said, I had all these consoles, and just handheld devices. So I was really into gaming, So I had like all that stuff and had a lot of fun with it when I was a kid. Had a lot of fun with it when I was a teenager, and of course had a lot of fun with it when I was playing with my cousins and sisters on it. So every time they came over for like the holidays or just to come over, we all play it. All of us were on playing like like Call of Duty or Smash Brothers or Mario Party. So like it was really fun. Especially during like the Wii, PS3, 360 era. Because. Well, personally for me, I think that was kind of like the last generation of where you can really have a great time experiencing like everybody in like the same room. I mean, yeah, you still had that in like PS4 and like Xbox One-ish era, and so forth. I mean, even Switch to this day, still does that, right? Kind of, but it was like just during the Wii, the 360, and PS3, whatever, that generation time, whatever. That was like, to me, in my opinion, was like literally the last kind of generation to where you can really enjoy and feel the experience of everybody in the room, until like online play came out and everything. But anyways, so yeah, but I will say this though. So even with like all that, and oh yeah, of course, I had like a lot of games with those and everything. I will say that, and I admit this, I'm not too proud of it though, but I will say that I had my rage moments, and I'm pretty sure almost every gamer has their moments, And by rage, I mean like what? You can go on YouTube and just type in to be honest, anything. So like, type in rage videos or rage compilations, from like fighting games, shooting games, whatever it is. Yeah, I was kind of like that. You can just look up one of those, and that was almost like me. I say almost though because like I wasn't like breaking my keyboard or like just screaming top of my lungs or whatever so forth. But I did have rage moments and attitude and everything. I will admit though, I did break like 3 controllers in my life. But that's it. I will say that. But anyways, it's just like I don't know. Like for some people, right? When they see other people, rage about the games, they be like calm down, it's just a game or this and that so forth. Which I mean, back then, yeah, it was. Even now too, especially when you're older and everything, you soon realize that phrase has some actually, truth behind it. However, those who say it's just a game, they honestly don't understand, because here, you know what? It's like this. For me, I'm not into sports, right? So I don't watch basketball, I don't watch football, or soccer or football, So I don't watch any of that stuff. So when people are, or those who are into it, get all frustrated and this and that, so forth, I can just look at them and be like, it's just a game. Who cares, So it's like that. So people who are into sports, sports fans out there, it's like that for us gamers, because it's all about the passion and how much we enjoy it. That's pretty much what it is. So I understand the passion, I understand the frustration, and I just like, oh my gosh, So it's just that. But also, it's not only the passion though, but it's also kind of fun, because if you're really into a game, I mean, I guess it kind of depends on who you are too, right? Because for me, I can be playing like a fighting game, and if I rage, it's because I'm kind of taking it a little more serious, you could say. But if I rage on like a shooting game or whatever, it's more about like oh that's stupid, it's kind of like that. But yeah, but for me, I don't know. Like I said too, I think it's like when I got older, I became more mature, wiser, and this and that. So I'm not saying I'm all that exactly, but compared to who I was before until now, yeah. And that's pretty much what happens as you get older. However, I'll also argue that not everybody can be like that, because there's some people out there who are older and just, still act like a kid or something like that. But anyways, yeah. However, I will say that from my experience at least, and looking at everyone else's, I will say that there's kind of like a difference in, I guess, rage moments, where if you're playing a shooting game or a fighting game, a sports game, a party game too, because Mario Party, yeah, those, if you know, or like even Fall Guys too, it's like that stuff. But anyways, it's just like, yeah, like I said, like different experiences and different moments. And here, you know what? I'll just kind of go, I guess, like not really in order, but just kind of like, share my experience of each kind of type of game that I played and experienced, as well as looking at others too. So like, for example, when it comes to shooting games, right? When those rage moments happens, it's like when you're playing, it kind of takes skill. I say kind of, but also I don't know. But basically, it's like, you have to, aim at the target. You got to use the sticks. You got to use your, buttons to aim, reload, shoot, all that stuff, right? And it all depends how quick you are on your reflexes and just how good you are. I mean, like, if they got a casual, you see them just, trying their best to do it, or, taking the time, right? But then if you look at these pro players out here, you'll see them like get like headshots, like do, like it's nothing. I can't do that. Like, dang. So for me, that's why I say, take some skill on that. So from that experience, I'd be like, oh man, I should have got him, or oh, this is stupid, or okay, I shot him how many times, and he shot me like one time, and I died. It's like that, right? And then if not, well, that's how I see it for me personally. But like I said too, like, yeah, I have my few rage moments in shooting games, but not that much. But if you see other people who play it, like Fortnite, Call of Duty, holy crap, they're like, what is this, man? What the? I can just watch, I can watch rage moments and I'll just get like a kick out of it, because it's ridiculous, But again, though, I understand though, I really do. So yeah, so it's, and like I said too, like I'm just kind of sharing my experience on that and so forth. But if you just really want to know what I'm talking about, like I said, go on YouTube, just type in like like shooting game rage moments, or even Fortnite or Call of Duty, and you'll see what I'm saying. So like that. Now I will say this though, a certain type of game that I actually do get rage on for sure, and everything, would be fighting games, because that's my thing. I'm all into fighting games. I really am. I've been playing fighting games since I was 3 years old. And to this day, I'm still playing it. However, I will say that I am not playing it as much as before, due to life being busy and playing Gacha games. Yeah, I'll get on that topic for sure. Trust me on that. But anyways, so when it comes to fighting games, right? you probably seen some of my clips of fighting games. I mean, to be honest, I'm probably even showing one right now on the video, just like kind of like a B-roll while I'm talking, because that's why I do it, right? But anyway, so like you'll see like me playing these games and there and so forth. Now, granted, I'm not like having the mic on and so forth, but half of those videos that I do post up, whatever, I actually wish I had my mic with me or like had it on or something, because then you could just hear me say like, oh man, no, I can't believe it, duh, what the like, oh, you're stupid. And by stupid, I'm talking about myself, because either I dropped a combo or just I don't know. But so with those kind of games, whatever, I get ragey, on those. I mean, not as bad as before, I will say that, because back then, okay. So here, you know what, God, this is kind of embarrassing, I guess, to say though, but back then, I was like that person who would rage like hard to where I'm not screaming, But like I said though, I've broken 3 of my controllers, so there's that. And no, I'm not tossing them like just chucking them across the room. Instead, it's more like I'm like crunching it, it's like gripping on it so tight to where it like breaks or cracks or button gets messed up, So it's like that, and also. Yeah, let's see, it's that, and then this happened when I was a kid too. It pretty much all stopped when I was a teenager, so forth. But basically, I was also kind of that player to where I'll get pissy, and then I'll just call myself stupid, or dumb for doing that, And I think if I recall right too, I think I would kind of let's see. Again, too, like it's kind of hazy because back then and everything. But I think I would kind of like slap my wrist or something like that, or I don't know, it's something like that. Basically, like here, you know what? If you go on those like rage clips, whatever, you might see people actually hit themselves and so forth. It was kind of like that, not to the extent where I'm like punching myself or causing actual harm, but it was something similar like that. So yeah. And again, too, that was when I was a kid, and I haven't done that, since then or whatever. But yeah, but it was like that. And again, too, this was with fighting games. Now, I know here, to be honest, whenever I look at rage, combinations, you can say, it's usually shooting games. And if it's a fighting game, there's like very few of it. If not, it's probably like Smash Brothers, And yeah, I got rage on those that stuff too. But just like with shooting games, right? I think it's just like all the passion of it. Because for me, like I said, fighting games are my favorite kind of game genre, out there, right? So for me, I have a passion for it. So like when I get ragey, it's just like, oh, I'm losing, from this guy, or oh, this guy is so good. But also too, it's more so like I'm raging because I know I can either beat him, or I know I can do this combo, but I'm dropping it, or anything else. Pretty much it's like on me, So that's why, I get ragey, because of, that stuff. So not to the point to where I'm like actually losing, but it's more so as in like, ooh, I'm so close, I know I can win this, and then stuff happens, So it's like that. So people like, who play fighting games and so forth, I think you actually understand what I'm saying on that, because, and also it's like this too, because you have your matches to where, you're really good at it, or you're doing really well. Or let's say if someone was beating you, now all of a sudden you're, getting your, what do you call it? I can't think of it right now. I got like a brave word. Comeback. There you go. Yeah. So then you get your comeback, right? But then it's like, instead of getting your comeback, it's like the opposite. Or what's worse is that you're winning. That's they know they get their comeback and they're like, oh crap. So I don't know. But it's just like stuff like that though. And even looking at the videos of rage moments and like the salt, that's what we call it too. Ooh, dude, people get so pissed off. It's funny. It really is. But it's funny because it's just like, it just shows you just how much people are, into, the games and how serious they take it. But like I said though, excuse me, it's just like, I truly believe that it's more of like the passion for the game, because if you have a passion for something, then you're I guess, well, if I'm being honest, if you have a passion for something, then you become more emotional. When you become more emotional, then obviously you get upset, more easy or easily. Sorry. And I think that's what it basically is. So it's like the passion, the likeness of the games, and it's just like, I don't know, like thinking of it right now, right? Because I'm kind of just like sitting on it and thinking like, man, what's wrong with me? So like that. But yeah, so that's where like the fighting games, and also too with that too, I will say with fighting games it does also take skill too, because like I said, just like with shooting games too, that takes skill. Fighting games take skill as well, especially all these pro players who are trying to know all the frame data and there and so forth. Look at here. I love fighting games, like I said, right? And I've been playing games for almost 30 years. Till this day, I'm not into all that frame data stuff. Okay, yes, I know it can help out and say, oh, you gotta do this, you gotta do that, so forth. But for me, I'm the kind of guy to where it's like, okay, so if I press, let's say if I'm playing on PlayStation, right? It's like, okay, so if I do square, down triangle, curve, circle, that's how I think. Like, okay, so I know this works. Okay, so now let's try something else instead of learning all those numbers and knowing exactly what to do because of this frame. That's not. Yeah, no, I'm not for that because to me that's too much homework. I'm just saying. But anyway, so just like that. Now the other game too. Actually, here, this one I'm not into it at all because, like I said, I'm not into sports. Therefore, I'm not into sports video games either. I'm really not, But man, I be watching those videos too. I be like what 2K games and those Madden games, they get pissed off, and I'm just sitting there like, really? But like I said though, just like with fighting games, just like with shooting games, it's all about the passion, right? I think that's what it basically comes down to. It's just like the passion and just the likeness of these games, and just like, I don't know. So it's like that. Now, I don't really have much to say on sports games because I have no experience with it and I don't like it, that much in the first place. But look at those videos, whew, boy. I don't know. I feel like y'all got it rough. Honestly, I don't know. I honestly kind of don't know, who's worse. When it comes to like shooting games, fighting games, sports games, or anything else. Oh, you know what? One other thing too I can mention about is the party fun games. By that I mean like Mario Party or like Fall Guys or pretty much like any game where it's like, it's like a game you wouldn't think will make you rage, but it does. It does. Oh my god.
I'm not gonna.
Okay, Ray, do it, Ray. Do it. 5. What? 5! Thank you! Jesus!
Better fine, man. Better.
You fools! You fools!
There you go! Fuck you! Bro, I had no other choice.
I am the king of Uno!
Especially Mario Party. If you know, you know. But by that I mean like if you play with your friends or family, so forth, and y'all get into the game so much. Like, there's a reason why they say Mario Party is like the friendship killer. Because you're competing with each other. You're just like, oh my god, do I? Or like you're teaming up with her and says, come on. Even with like Fall Guys, and that game's fun, And you know what? Here, I haven't played that game in a long time. I think I should go back into it. But like from what I recall though, that game's fun, Even with that game too. Again, it's simple. You like do these obstacles or do these mini games, right? But man, because you're competing with other people and there and so forth, it's just like, oh my gosh, I need to win this. Or like you do something simple, but you somehow mess it up. It's just like, how? But they're so much fun though, So for me, party games, yeah, they rage. Like what people rage on is so hard. But for me personally, it's like I rage or I can rage, right? But it's more like for fun. It's like, oh my god, I hate this, but I love it at the same time. It's kind of like that. That's how I feel for party games. But yeah, so like with all those games, right? The shooting game, fighting games, sports games, party games, and any other things like that, right? Even like single player, games. Like I watch people play what Elden Ring is it, and shoot, they get pissy on that too. Which hey, I get it. You know, if you keep dying and can't defeat a boss, even though you're trying to know his patterns and so on, I get that part. I totally get that. Especially like fighting a boss after like the 50th try or something like that, and you find it, you're like, yes, God, yes. It's like, oh, I spent a whole 2 hours on this. I know the feeling. Trust me, I know the feeling all too well. Anyways, but so yeah, so ultimately, I think it's just like the passion for that, you know, like it really is. But if anything, one of the I will say this here right now, right? One of the main things, or if not the main, the top reason why I wanted to actually make this video was because this one right here, I want to talk about like the Gacha community. And for me, here's the thing. So to kind of summarize this and whatever, I technically started playing Gacha games all the way back in 2016. Here's the thing though, I didn't know back then what it was at first. You know, it was just games, you know, free to play, you know, and yeah, you can spend money, right? You know, and for me, it's like, okay, cool. And I just thought of it as like a regular app game because app games do that. But I didn't realize that those kinds of games, like the Moed Ninja Girls, for example. If y'all know what that is, yeah. So I didn't know that was that. And then something else too. I forgot what the other one was. But yeah, so technically speaking, I haven't played this thing since 2016. However, I wasn't really into it, or I wasn't like deep dive into it until like I want to say when did he went? It was Honkai. Yeah, that's right. It was Honkai Impact 3rd. That's when I also got into that too, and I think I knew it was like. If I recall in here, it's actually been a while since I played that game. It really has. And I still have my account and everything, but like I said, it's been a long time. Anyways, though, but with that game, when it came out, I think I knew it was a gacha game, but again, too, it was kind of like to where like I wasn't invested to it. Like I knew what it was, but then I was like, I don't know. So I, kind of played that game, but then I dropped it like quickly because I don't know. I guess it didn't catch my interest, right away. But of course, then that's when COVID hit. The ding, 2020, all that stuff, right? Excuse me, I'm like, burping. Anyways, so excuse me, pardon me. But anyways, so 2020 happened, right? And of course, those in the Gacha community, what happened in 2020? Genshin Impact. Yeah, so that happened. So pretty much, like I said, I was like touching the waters in Gacha games back then. I wasn't really invested to it. But it wasn't until Genshin Impact, then that's when I fully got invested into Gacha games, So it was like I played a few of them, wasn't really totally invested into it, but it wasn't until Genshin Impact to where I actually got fully invested into it. To where, honestly, I am a day one player and I'm still playing it every single day since then. If anything, I might have missed in total, like a week of playing it in total. So ever since it came out, till now, I probably missed like 7 days of it. That's it, So there's that. But yeah, so it wasn't until that time to where I got fully invested to it, and ever since then, that's when I started playing a whole bunch of other games. So since then till now, I'm playing. Here, hold on a second. I got a folder on my phone of like all the Gacha games I play pretty much. Okay, so besides Genshin, I'm also playing Nikkei, Honkai Star Rail, Zenless Zone Zero, Echocopolis, Azure Lane, Cat Fantasy, Blue Archive, Starseed, Brown Dust 2, MS of Shadow, Snowbreak, Aether Gazer, Wuthering Waves, Punchy, Grey Ribbon, Outer Plane, Haze Reverb, Black Clover, well, kinda, I guess, I don't know. I used in this game, Higan Iruthero. I haven't played that in a long. Now I think about it. So it was that. Let's see. What's this one called? Hold on a second. Oh yeah, Girls Frontline 2. I guess I'm like a day one player on that one because it kind of it's still kind of newish. So it was that. And Tales of Angels. How many of y'all know that one? If you know, you know, okay? Anyways, and let's see. Oh, yeah, and Playing Enigma Senpai, yeah, so that's kind of a new one too. Again, if you know, you know. And one other one that I'm playing too, I believe it's called Horizon something crap. Horizon something. Horizon Walker, I believe it was. Yeah. Anyway, so it was that game. Now that's not available on like the iOS, whatever. But I know it's available on the Google Play Store, I believe. But I don't have Android, so because of that, whatever, I can't play it on my phone. However, I do have like the like the Nox player, whatever. So I'll be I'll play in that right there. Horizon Walker, that's what it was. Sorry, I kind of had to look it up though. But if you know that game, hey. There you go. Goon Horizon, right? Anyways, but yeah, so it's just all those games that I pretty much listed that I'm playing. And here's the thing: I don't play all of them like all together daily, all every day. If anything, for sure, I play like half of them daily, and the other half is just like every other day or something like that. But anyways, so yeah, so I pretty much like kind of been my experience, and I'm not free to play. I will say that, okay? Not all the games that, or I'm pretty sure every single game that I played, I spent like at least $1. So technically speaking, I'm not free to play for sure. But there are a few games to where I have invested, in them, like Genshin Impact, for example, Honkai Star Rail, Zenless Zone, Wuthering Waves, like kind of like the mainstream ones. You know what I'm talking about? So those I have, invested in as well. How much, I do not know, and I kind of don't want to know. You know what? Maybe I should, just kind of just to see how much I have put in. Lord, I mean, it's kind of years in the making, so I guess, I'd be like, oh, I spent this much in 4 or 5 years? Okay, cool. Anyways, all right. But, it's like that, right? So, here's my thing, though, with what's been going on lately. Now, here's the thing. If you're with the Gacha community, right, whether you're a content creator or you're just a viewer, a player who's like invested in it, I'm not talking about like the casuals. By that I mean I'm not referring to like the players who do play the game but don't care much about the news or kind of what's going on or has no idea of like the major issues, right? So talking to the players who are like, what would you call them, like dolphins, whales, content creators, or casuals who are keeping up with stuff, right? Let's see, how should I say this? The issue I have with them in particular is how much care and seriousness that they have with these games. Now, here's the thing. Here, you know what? I'm gonna put it in 2 different ways, right? I'm going to speak on the behalf of a gamer myself and understand the passion behind it, right? And then I'm going to talk about the other side of it, which is where I'm like, about it. So let's talk about like the gamer side, right? So basically with content creators, who are in the Gacha space, right? Like, no names like, Tectone or Saitoma, Sky Smack, like those guys, right? So with those guys right there, they do talk about like the Gacha games and everything. However, with those guys, they talk about like the issues and problems. Now people will say, "Oh, they're causing drama and this and that, so forth," right? Which, technically speaking, I guess they are. However, that's technically speaking. But what they're trying to do is just let us know what are the issues and problems that like the companies are doing. Hoiverse pretty much. Of what they're doing. By that I mean like they're being greedy, or like they're not listening to the players, or like they're not giving what the players really want instead of just like these minor things. So what they're doing is addressing the issue. They're saying like, oh well, if we keep letting these companies have their way, then we're not gonna be satisfied. Or, oh, look at what they're doing here. Or, oh, why is Weather Waves doing this and actually catering to us on this stuff, while they're over here at a bigger company not, giving a crap about it. And to be honest, that's true, And I will say, like I said, like as a gamer who's also passionate about this and likes this stuff, I'm pretty much on like their side, to where it's just like, yeah, you got these issues that are coming. Like here, the recent ones, right? I know that the latest one is with Honkai Star Rail, to where you got the one character who supposedly can revive, if I recall right. Like here, hold on a second. Okay. I'm trying to remember exactly, what her name is, because I want to make sure I get it right. Okay, so her name is and if I butchered this, I am so sorry. It's Castoris or something. So basically, here's what's happening with her issue, right? So she's coming to 3.2 in the next update. So not like what next week or so forth, but probably went in like 3 weeks or something like that, whatever. So anyways, so with her, the issue is that supposedly, I guess, like, if you have her in your account, right, she's able to revive your characters if they die. But the thing is, though, you can have her do that without her being in the party, from my understanding, at least from what I say. Now, to a bunch of players who are crying over this, or not crying, I guess they are crying about it, but who are addressing the issue, right? So forth, I completely understand, because that's crack. That's crazy. It's just like, wait, what? Meaning that, like, players who don't get her, or what's that term called? FOMO. Basically, FOMO is fear of missing out. That's what it stands for, right? So pretty much, like, it's gonna have players to get her to have this ability, because if not, then you pretty much just don't get it at all, or have that. Which, yeah, okay, like every character has their own sort of ability, but yeah, even I can say, like, that's kind of crazy. It was like, wow, really? So I understand the issue with that. Oh, and not only that too, though, but with Genshin Impact, not too long ago when Mawiga came out and Silada came out, and everything, they both came out at the same time, instead of like one person coming out on the first phase and the second one coming out on the second one, right? Instead, they had them both coming out at the same time, and right before the Lantern Rite too, to where, like, you get free gems, for the characters or anything else you want, right? And so for me, yes, I did invested on getting Mawiga first, because, Archon, so I say I wanted her, right, and everything, but I really wanted to slide too, and I did try to get her, but I couldn't, because, well, first of all, I can't just like just like douse out hundreds of dollars or something like that, right? But also too, I was upset. I was like, man, you're kidding me. So the next time she gets a rerun, I will get her, whatever. But I just hated how, like, you put these two brand new characters together, instead of having them back to back, how you usually do it. Nah. And right there, I would call them out too. That's greedy. It really is, because they're trying to soak the crap out of these players. Say, hey, you want these two? Get them right now. Spend all this money, instead of like saying, like, okay, here's one person right now. Okay, now you have a little more time to get the other person. How they usually do it. But that time they're like, nah. And I think they did make money off of that too. So I know what Tato mentioned is that, like, if they keep doing this, they will do it again. Which, what? It won't surprise me. It really wouldn't. So with these issues, it's stupid. It really is. It's just corporate greed, and yeah, I do see the problems with them. And again, too, this comes from a gamer myself, who also likes these gacha games, and who is mostly invested into them. By that, like, the money and news and all that stuff, whatever. Because I do want to keep updates about kind of what's going on. But like I said, mostly, not fully, but just like that. Now, here, speaking of me saying mostly, here's the part to where I'm, like, on the other side about this. So, as a gamer and someone who plays them and so forth, I understand the frustration and the passion, and yeah, it's stupid, Now, here comes the part where I'm more talking about reality, And by that, I mean, I guess someone who's looking at it at an outside perspective, you could say. And that's the part where I'm like, and I guess I can say the phrase, it's just a game, And here, so even though I said about that one character, right, on Hook on Star Rail, how that's stupid and that's, crazy and cracked, right? Now, if I look at the other side, or let's say a casual, a very casual player who just plays it and just, wants to play because it's cool and all that stuff, right? If I look at it that way, or someone who doesn't really care for the game that much, honestly, that's actually cool. You know, it's like, wait, this character can revive my characters, and I don't even have to have her on a team. Hey, that's cool. You know, and because I can think of it that way, yeah, I can see how that actually looks cool and how it's like, oh, that's neat. You know. So again, though, boy, it's kind of like what, even me just saying it out loud, it's like I'm battling myself, because again, like, yeah, I can see how it is a major problem. I understand that, you know. But at the same time, too, on the other side, it's like, no, that's pretty cool, actually. It's like, hey, yeah. So it's like that. And on that, too, though, but also, with these, I guess it's just like these content creators, right? Well, okay, here, look it. It's your job. I get it. That's your job, is to bring the news, bring the issues, bring the good news, whatever you gotta do, that's your job, and so on and so forth. I totally understand that, you know? So, hey, if you're doing it because it's your job, then, you know what? Hey, do what you gotta do, all for that, you know, and so on and so forth. But for me, I think it just comes to a problem, and I'm not saying that for everyone, right? But to certain people, you know, especially the ones who have passion for it, and I understand, I completely understand, you know, I understand how much, you know, these games can mean to you, you know, so much. I'm not, you know, talking about certain people, but just, you know, in general speaking, who play these games and care so much about it and this and that's over, and who want the game to succeed. That's the other thing too, right? Is that some people just, you know, can't find the difference between that. By that I mean, like, you know, you have these people who, you know, like I said earlier, who, you know, say like, oh, all they're doing is trying to create drama, but it's like, no, they really are trying to talk about these issues, and, you know, like, they're trying to say like, well, hey, like, you know, listen up and here's the truth, you know. But some people just can't see that. But anyways, but with that being said, it's just like, you know, these are content creators out here, and I don't think now recently, however, but there are just some out there, and there's, you know what, there is actually one in particular. I forgot his name was, but basically this guy makes videos about, you know, well, recently it's pretty much just like videos talking, you know, crap about Genshin mainly, and now Hoyoverse, you know, like what, every single video that I can recall the past, what, days or weeks, whatever, is always just talking down about the game. Now look, I'm not defending Genshin, okay, because yeah, Genshin got some issues. I will say that right now, okay. Yeah, that game needs improvements. I will say that. Even though I'm a day one player and I enjoy Genshin Impact, whatever, I will gladly admit that game has some issues that needs to be addressed and needs to be changed, okay. That's for sure. I will say that, okay. However, that being said too, is that, like, there's some people out there who just talk about the game so much and so down about it. It's just like, that's where the part where I'm like, is it that serious? Like, honestly. And again, I know, like, these content creators are just, you know, bring up the issues, and I get it. But some of them, just not the way they talk about it, you know. It's like, here, you know what did I say? You know what? There actually was one video of that certain guy. I totally forgot his name was. I totally forgot though. But you know what? You guys actually might know who I'm talking about, but maybe, I don't know. But basically, it's like a VTuber thing or something like that. But anyway, so, but the way this guy talks, right? I'm like watching his videos and I'm hearing him out, but at the same time too, I'm just like, why does this guy sound like he's talking about his ex? As like, you know what? It's like that. That's what I feel like with some of these content creators. It's just like they talk so much crap about this certain game, where I'm just like, this person's talking like as if they can't get over their ex or something, as if this ex hurt them. That's what it sounds like. I'm not joking. I mean, it sounds funny because it is funny, but some of these creators, they sound like that, to where I'm just like, again, I get it. You know, I get the frustration. You want the game to succeed. You want the game to be better, and I totally get that. I want that too, you know. But to an extent, though, because like I said, though, then it gets to a point to where you're talking so much crap about this game. I think myself like, okay, are you just now being a hater, or are you talking about, like, you know, this is your ex? That's what it sounds like. I'm not joking. And here, like, for me, yeah, I consider myself as a gamer, you know, and so forth. Like I said, though, I've been playing games for almost 30 years. So, like, I pretty much, I won't say I grew out of it, though, you know, but I grew out of that phase to where games are my life, you know. And it comes to the point to where that one same phrase, again, I'm not sure if people say this anymore, recently, but back then they always say it's just a game, you know. And honestly, that's true, you know. What they say, it's just a game, bro. Well, yeah, because it is. And I guess like that's my take in like, you know, in all of this and making this video, right? It's to say that, you know, it's just a game. It really is. But I say that too because I'm a gamer myself. I understand, you know. I totally get it, the passion. And here, not just for games too, but even for like, you know, movies and like, you know, animation, anime. Like here, for example, let's just you know push away the games for a second, and I can bring out really quick about, you know, the movie business. You know, how like, you know, what Disney is doing. Okay, I'm not here. I'm not gonna get into the whole Disney stuff like that because that's not what this video is. But I'm just saying that as an example, right? If you know what's going on with Disney and everything and so forth, it's like that, to where it's like, you know, love Disney, I grew up with Disney and so forth, or whatever, so forth, right? But because of what they've been doing, you know, it's like, what the crap, you know? So it's like that, you know, to where I understand the passion, hate, and it's just like, oh my God, I can't believe it, you know? But just like with movies and other entertainment industries, right? Entertainment media or media entertainment, right? You know, it's all just what it is. It's just a movie, it's a show, and it's just a game. Now, I'm speaking in like a casual person who kind of, you know, and again, I don't want to say I grew out of that because not really though, but it's kind of like, well, I got more important things to worry about, you know, and I do. I really do, you know. I got, you know, my job, my family, you know, and all that stuff, right? And obviously all that comes first before all my hobbies and games. It really does. Especially when you have a family, you know, and so forth. Trust me, that has to be put aside. Now, I'm not saying to let go of that stuff, you know. I mean, if you do, that's on you. That's your choice in there and so forth. But, you know, it's always good to still have your hobbies and everything, right? But, you know, priorities come first. Families come first. You know, be responsible over whatever. Don't just spend all your money on like, you know, things, materials, gacha games, you know. So it's like that stuff, you know. That's what reality is. That's what real life is. So that's the way I basically see this, to where I see these people taking it so serious, you know. And I'm just kind of like shaking my head like, oh my God, you know. But again, like that being said and there and so forth, I do understand. And to be honest, if I'm looking at it again, back to the whole gamer situation, yes, I do also believe that these companies have to do something. They have to, you know, listen to their players. I'm not saying listen to every single little thing, but majority speaking, you know, they do have to listen to them, and they have to, you know, adjust what they're doing, because, you know, at the end of the day, we're the customers. You know, that saying, the customer is always right. Well, if we're in retail and so forth, you know, that's only right to an extent. But we're the ones who are giving them the money. You know, we're the ones buying the product. We're the ones, you know, basically, without us, they have no job. How about that? It's like that, you know. So I do agree that yes, these companies had to do better. These companies had to change their ways. They had to, you know, do what they can to make us happy. Because if we're happy, then we give them money, and they should be happy with that too. You know, that's how it rolls. That's why companies like Kuro Games, you know, with Wuthering Waves, that's why they're doing good, because they're listening to their players, and they're doing the best that they can to make the game enjoyable. You know, and look it, I'm not gonna lie, Wuthering Waves, I feel like at this point it would always leave a bad taste in my mouth due to my horrible first experience with it. Okay, ever since then. And for like a half a year, I've had a horrible experience with it until it finally came on PS5, you know. Then I finally enjoyed the stupid game. And you know what? I really do have to make a video on that, because I gotta share my experience with Wuthering Waves, right? I have like a love-hate relationship with that game now. But anyways, but basically, yeah, with that game, that company itself though, they're doing what they can, and that's cool. And another company, Shift Up, right? Basically, that company made Stellar Blade and like Nikkei, whatever. I haven't played Stellar Blade just yet, but I do plan to get the game. But I basically have been playing Nikkei. Now I'm not a day one player on Nikkei. I'm like a day 3 player, I guess you could say, because like I did want to play on day 1, but I totally forgot about the game release, whatever. So I was like, oh crap, and everything. So I guess I'm a day 3 player. But I've been playing that game basically since the very beginning, right? And I love that game. To me, Nikkei is one of my top favorite gacha games ever. It really is. If anything, it's probably one of my top games ever, period. It really is. Because besides the whole, fan service that they have, whatever, the story is good, the characters are good, it's great. It really is, honestly. And they're also doing what they can too to please their audience, because you pull out these surveys or like whatever and so forth, and they do listen too, maybe not all the time, but they do get, and you'll see the results, out of that. So yes, I do agree that these companies, have to do better and so forth, So now let's switch it up again, switch it from a gamer to just a person, right? It's like this too. I'm saying all of this to where it's kind of like I'm on both sides, to where I understand the frustration and the passion, and yes, these companies need to do better. That's for sure. Okay. On the other hand, too, again, it's just a game. And here's the thing too: if these companies will not listen, let them fail, and they will learn, because money talks, right? These businesses, doesn't matter what it is, so forth, money talks. So with that right there, it's like, let's see, what's to say? Oh yeah, so basically it's like that. However, if these consumers, basically the casual players, right, or those who aren't truly invested into it, or who aren't paying attention to all like the, dirty spots, you could say, or whatever, they're just gonna keep investing. They're gonna keep playing the game, and they're gonna be like, okay, well, it's just a game, but I'm gonna play it, how I like it. And to be honest, that's fair. It really is. And to be honest, that's kind of how I see it too. Half of me is like that, to where I'm like, it's just a game. If I like it, then it is what it is, and so forth, whatever. The other half of me is saying like, no, these companies should do better. They really should. And here, if they fail, then fail. Hey, it is what it is. And to be honest, like I said, I pretty much invested a lot into like Genshin Impact, for example. But let's say if that game is, soon to like die, right? Because of all the failings that they're doing, or not pleasing the customer and blah, blah, right? If that game, or here, I'll say this. If that game just all of a sudden closed down tomorrow, right? It's like, oh, it's gone. No more Genshin Impact, whatever, so forth. My attitude, even though I'm a day one player and put, investment into it, I'd be like, meh. All right, well, that happened. That's it. Move on. I'm dead serious. I really am. And that's because I see it, like I said, it's just a game. And that's all this really is, So, I don't know. I guess I like talking about this, right? Because like I said, I've been trying to make this thing for months now. Like this is something I've been wanting to talk about for months on this, and I haven't got a chance to. But as time goes on, I'm watching more and more videos. I'm learning about more and more stuff of what's going on, all that stuff, right? But so it kind of like helps me out to figure out exactly like how I feel about this, and I pretty much came to the conclusion to where I guess I'm like in the middle, like I was leaning more into it's just a game, stuff like that. But again, too, just kind of like think about all this and just learn more stuff, whatever. Now it's like I'm in the middle, to where I can't really lean on one side or the other so much, because again, like at the end of the day, whatever, I'm still a gamer, almost 30 years, I've been playing games there and so forth. But also too, like I said, like I know for sure it's just a game, and that life is so much more than that. It really is. And for those who, here, you know what? There's something I also want to say too, is that like I understand the passion is over, right? And I'm sorry if I sound like a broken record, but I kind of just want to make that clear, is that like for those who invested so much in like into games or even like anime or all that stuff, right? Because I watch anime too. I've been watching anime, reading manga for what, 20 years? Actually longer than that. But anyways, that's another thing. But anyway, so I get that too. So I get the whole, buying stuff and spending money on stuff and so forth. But if you're someone who invests everything that you have, not majority of what you have, into that stuff, the way I see it is this: if it's not your job to where this actually will, bring some income for you back, right? Or to where you actually have an actual real benefit out of doing that, I would kind of question and be like, what are you doing? And I know, if you're young, like here, look at the exceptional part is if you're like a teenager, if you're like in what, college year or something like that, I would say that's like exceptional. Basically saying like, okay, well, besides them, but if you're an adult, or you're living on your own, if you got things to pay for and so on and so forth, basically kind of like my case, whatever, then yeah, I would question that if you're putting so much investment into all this, it's kind of like, what are you doing? Because life is more than games. Life is more than movies, shows, entertainment, just all that stuff. But I completely understand how people get invested into it and their passion and get their feelings involved and all this stuff, because I was like that too. I mean, I still kind of am a little bit, but not as much. And again, that's because I got older, I got more mature, wiser. Now I have bigger responsibilities of, taking care of other people, like all that stuff. So, that just comes naturally. But even though I said that right there, it comes naturally, to some people it doesn't. Because this is also kind of why I'm talking about this right now, is because like you have people out there who also have families, who also have jobs, but they're putting all these games in front before that, and it can ruin them, And as someone who's been in the gaming community and anime community, like all this stuff, for like 2 decades or so or whatever, I've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly, and it's something else. It really is. But like I said though, with the people who are talking about these gacha games, issues, and so forth, hey, if it's your job, then you do you, because that's what you gotta do, But again, too, even though I feel like some of these content creators or just people in general just talk about these games, right? But like when they talk, and if it's not like a certain somebody or like how they act or whatever, if they talk so serious about it and sound like they're actually hating on the game or whatever, then that's when I'm just like, chill out, man. It's not that big of a deal. Yes, I understand the importance though, but it's not something to where you have to pop a blood vessel, or start cursing out, or start dropping all this crap on the game. It's just like I said, it feels like an ex that you can't get over with. That's what it truly feels like. It's like, Jesus, man, like, move on. But anyways, but yeah, but I don't know. I mean, and here, just like with my other videos too, this is not scripted. It really isn't. I mean, if anything, I have like these like little notes here, to kind of what I'm gonna talk about and everything. But I'm just throwing this all out there in my in my head. And also, sorry if I sound, I guess, tired, whatever, because it is actually late. And like I said, I've been trying to make this video for like months now, and everything. So I finally got like a little free time to do this. But yeah. So if anything, I don't know. This is more of like a general speaking of like I guess like the it's just a game part. Now maybe like I might make something just talking about gacha games in general speaking, and maybe more details and context about it. But otherwise, you could just go to other actual gacha content creators, who actually do talk about that stuff. You get all the information on that. For me, I'm just a guy just talking about it. I'm no one special. I'm just here voicing out my own opinion. I do consider myself as a gacha player, because like I said, I listen to all those games I play, as a gamer and all that stuff. But I also feel like, I'm like someone, even though, I'm like I said, I'm pretty much a nobody, right? Just some guy just talking about it and so forth. But all I'm doing is just expressing my own opinion. And also, I feel like I'm in a place to where I can understand the passion for it, but I can also understand how it's just like, chill out, So, but anyways, though, but if you got this far to, hear me out on this, then I appreciate it and thank you. And Sorry if this video sounds a little choppy and everything, because like I said, like I am trying to make this and so forth, but my son has been kind of going in and out of the room, so I had like, you know, pause a few times on like a few things, or kind of like cut it, you know, so I apologize for that. But anyways, I thank you for your time, you know, as usual, and I just hope that, you know, all of you are having, you know, a blessed time and a good day, and again, thanks for hearing me out and so forth. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's all just a game, but also too, these companies need to do better. And like I said, if they don't listen and they fail, hey, let them fail, all right? Until then, see you next time. Have a good night.